Alright, the next quest is called City of the First. It will give us a white oak chest gear coffer, which a valuable piece of attire lies within. A valuable piece. I don't know. Oh, chest gear. Okay, so 385 chest gear. Okay. But I also want to explore the city, and I'm also on White Mage because I'm just now realizing Dia replaced Arrow 2 on my bar. But since they're different spells, I guess Arrow 1 and Arrow 2 are technically different spells, but I think you can only have one of them up. Can you have Dia, which brings me back to Final Fantasy XI, I love it, and Arrow 2 up at the same time? So if I come across some target dummies, I'm going to try that, but hopefully City of the First just has us explore and get all the telepoints, because that's what I want to do anyway, but I thought maybe I can do both. So the Crystal Exarch. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order, but I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you to first gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. Ote. We look to that kind of big old blue crystal dome with the main crystal aetheryte crystal. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the aetheryte, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. Probably going to make this my home point, actually, for now, too. Not the free teleport, but home. After you've done so, walk up the steps next to the aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catless, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him and his cabinet of curiosity, you want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. All roads lead to and from here, apparently. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Bragi, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetherite Plaza. Cool beans. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Crystal clear. Or the option was to the right and down where now? Ha! Very good. I concede. The layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. And as you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask you whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. And the hooded man who is the leader here walks off. Cutscene over. Let's switch to Dragoon. I'm a dragon, not a dragoon, I'm a dragon. So we do indeed run into the main beautiful blue glass or crystal line. It's still got brick walls or stone walls, and the steps are obviously just made of wood, and the railings of wood and or stone. And hey, Aetherite, what's up, bud? Tuning to you is the best thing I'll ever do. Okay, let's make this my home point. Yeah. Away from Porta Pretoria. Let's go up the stairs first as suggested, which brings us up to the north, then to the east, and out to the east is one option, but there's not really nowhere to go that way, so I think Hold on. I can't go this way through this gate that would lead to the Spagrix or whatever it's... What? Spagirix? It's a weird word. Okay. So this would lead down to an Ethernet. Okay, I could just jump, that's fine. But I don't want to, right? I want to go north? Did he say to go north after going up the steps? I think that's the only way. So, merchant mender, leave meet, script exchange. There is an Ethernet shard here. A small crystal. Like maybe the size of a torso. Floating there. What did that say? Oh. Catless is here, indeed. She is human looking. Maybe Elzen. There's a kind of a weird, like, well, kind of a kiln area right behind her, but this doesn't look like, it's not actually being used as a kiln, it looks like. It's just being used to store. It's like this kind of weird short column, and anyway. Hey, Catless, cutscene. There's some plants growing in pots. Some fish hanging. A market of sorts. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together we work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Crosses her arms. She's got purple hair that goes almost down to like mid-neck, basically. Just don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Eulmoran layabouts. E-U-L-M as in Mary, O-R-A-N as in Nancy. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? You explain what the Exarch told you. One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. She looks up to the crystal tower. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the crystal tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he, and you, wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you've aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Catless, and you'll find a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Your exchange with Catless has taught you about life in the Crystarium. Cutscene over. I will try to go. I don't think I can. I think that just leads down. Going down. 6 feet underground. Anytime I'm in an elevator and the voice says, going down, I cannot help but think of that song. I'm trying to get... Can I go up here? There does seem to be like some crafting stuff going on back in this area. I don't think I can get up here. no matter how much I jump. There are actually some kilns and some, I don't know the right word for it, but there's very hot coals? Like lava? Fucking hell. I can't go that way. Alright. So let us go back to the main aetheryte via this Ethernet shard. Let us follow the next piece of advice to go, instead of on the stairs, right under the stairs to the north, which should lead to the crystal. Oh, no, it should lead us somewhere else. But we can go west after that. Find an Ethernet shard, a paddock, I believe is the right word, where there are chocobos and some kind of wyvern-looking things. The Sism Genmai are the orc-like people that kind of have feathery furry shoulders and like neck area and top of the tail. Some hay stacks to feed all of the mounts. This chocobo is attacking what is it called? One of those dummies, target dummies. I can't target it. This looks like restricted access. That's fine, I suppose. Let's sprint. Clan Nutsy member. What the fuck that means? We're going downstairs. Stone, like beautiful stone carved stairs and walls. We're in the trivium. I guess we're gonna go down some more and into the whispering gallery. There's another Ethernet shard here, and the next talking point beyond these grand doors. All of this area, there's like a nice purple tree. Again, the trunk and such are regular trunk tree colors, but all the leaves are brilliant purple. There's a spiral staircase and lots of librarians in a circular, tall library, like several levels of stacks of books, both on the outside and the middle, going up and up. We are on the 3rd floor, and that is the top floor, so yeah, maybe just 3 or 4 floors. Morin is here, contemplating something on in a book, it looks like, or on a globe, maybe. Excuse me, miss. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and, well, pale male, young-ish, maybe like early 20s. Well, what I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll, even? A scrap of scribbled-on parchment? I probably have something like that. My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? You explain what we're doing. Oh, so you have an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, and I'll fetch it for you. Did he just assume that I wanted a picture book? We're waiting atop. Cutscene, he comes. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair, make yourself more comfortable? On with the lesson, then. He's got a book wrapped in his arms. Cutscene fades black. We see a picture of like a bright yellowish circle with what looks kind of like the earth in like the middle top. It's like a little bit up from the middle, but still kind of in the middle horizontally. And then there's a sun on one side, a moon on the other. 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous, blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Fade to black. A new page. We see a figure having, like, putting up, like, floating in the air, putting up this magical barrier to stem, like, an actual, what looks like an actual tidal wave of light that is trying to consume what looks kind of like a town. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, Norvrandt, and Norvrant alone spared the fate of erasure. Cutscene. Fade to black, new page. We see like an angel of light, a chimera of light, another kind of angel with horns of light, another odd-shaped beast thing of light, like all above the city, but then that tidal wave of light still seems to be encroaching. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvrant's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. Goes to black, new book closed, it sounds like. Yeah. His eyes are closed, he was looking down, sighs heavily. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or you would, if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad for the company. Your exchange with Morin has taught you about the Flood of Light. Thank you for telling me what I learned. Video game. Okay. Running down the the spiral staircase to the first floor to use the Ethernet to the south. Big, beautiful doors, some gold designs, kind of a background of, I guess, just dark brown wood. Kind of like purplish tint to it a little bit, but so I got that. Go back to the main. I've also had my serpent hatchling forever, so let's see what the next in the roulette would be. It is Palico, our like digging cat friend, our prospecting cat friend, probably our newest minion, I think. Skywatch. Oh, I probably should have. If there's a Chocobo keeper guy, I think it's up there. All right, so we've gone east from that main Aetheryte Plaza into a very wide open courtyard of such. To the south, another kind of like several domes of blue crystal atop stone work, masonry, beautiful stone walls. To the north, kind of just a lot of open space, and you kind of see the big old blue dome crystal top thing. We got the docile gate to our right, leading out somewhere. The ocular, maybe? I have not got the... Can I get that from here? I want to get it all. I want it all. I want it all. We can, it looks like, go up these stairs, which may lead to another Ethernet shard, I'm hoping. We'll find out anon. More stairs. Jeez, up and up and up. It never ends. It never ends. Don't waste your time. Yes, it was right. Cool. Worth it. Ethernet shard. Is the Jacobo thing up here? Yes. Wait. Maybe. Yes. Tamer. Aged Amaro Tamer. The Amaro are kind of what looks like a feathered wyvern of sorts. Looking to procure yourself an Amaro? Then I reckon you've come to the right place. Cool. So I've got that registered. Muy importante. And we will go back to the Dossal Gate. Dossal? D-O-S-S-A-L. Or Dosai? Is it an I? No, it's an L. Okay. I think we want to go south from here. I can sprint again, right? Yeah. Doom, 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 sprint. South, south, and more south. Big, open, like grassy, like there's grass in the ground here. Some trees with the purple and trees with the green leaves and some fruit growing from some of them. Big, giant blue crystal dome up top, way, way up top. We've got repairs, materia master, retainer stuff. Probably a couple market boards. Another Ethernet shard. Let's get you. There is nobody here at all. Nobody uses this place anymore, apparently, which, you know. Endwalker is here, so Shadowbringers is definitely not the current expansion. Still interesting to see it so empty, I suppose, but at some point in time, there probably were tons of people enjoying the beautiful scenery of these areas. Personal suite. Interesting. Oh, cool. Hey, we got them all. Yeah, baby. Right. Is there a faster way? There is. Let's just use this really quick. Just basically right back to the last one we got before this. Gemstone Trader, Mender, Materia Vendor, yeah. Retainer Vocate, and Broggy. Market Board, Summoning Bell, etc. Talking to Broggy, we get a cutscene where we see all of the market stalls built into the walls of this giant room. Red brick walls. Also like white brick walls is in other areas. Broggy is new to the city, friend. The spitting head and wide eyes will give you away. He's a lion person. Welcome, my name is Broggy, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the distinct honor official title. Sorry, they gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for Mistel such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry, did you say Mistel? He cocks his head. Aye, something wrong? Instead of me coat, I'm called a Mistel. Here. He points over to a woman in robes talking to like three soldier-looking dudes, or one guy in robes and two other soldier-looking dudes. And there's an orc with the white fur. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a hume. Then the taller one is an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a Galgant, whilst the one with the horns is a Drawn. And there's the orc as well. And then you have the large, scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zun. Yes, Z-U-N, sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to remember any of that. Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. You explain what the Exarch told you? Ah, the same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. He's got the face of a lion, the mane, a little kind of the hair and mane of a lion, but hands of a human with maybe some claws at the tips, and the body of a human. Kind of a thicker human, but you don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, They floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. We've learned about the peoples of the first. I'm not going to remember it, though. If it's a quiz later, I'm fucked. But when am I not? Alright, should I avail myself of... I'm going to, just check out repairs super quick. The quickest way I found to do this is talk to the mender in your current gear, switch your gear set, you're fine, white mage, getting close. White mage is probably going to take the most beating most of the time because sometimes I die in dungeons, and that takes a lot of repair work. Ethernet shard, going back to the docile gate, docile? I'll go docile if I remember. And the crystal Exarch is here. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? What's this? Oh, life in the Crystarium, the flood of light, the peoples of the first. Okay. Apparently, yes, it would seem you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that the details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the selfsame one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing, and although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. And get that white oak chest gear coffer. Makes more sense when I read it as chest gear coffer, not, yeah. We've also reached the end of my list of items that I purchase frequently or have purchased from Amazon that I have liked a lot. So back to the top, SlimFast High Protein Shake. I get the chocolate. It's amazing for after a workout. Just 8 ounces of cold water. Shake it up. If you might want to get one of those like cups that has the attachment with the up and down shaky thingy. But there's also like I think there's a strawberry flavor that's not bad. I don't really try a lot of other flavors. I like the chocolate. So it starts my day fantastically after a workout. Gives me some protein for muscle building. And if you buy it with the link in my description, then I get a cut. But I'll see you next time. Bye.